And here we go to talk about The Walking Dead Season 3, Episode 5. This episode is called Say the Word, and it originally aired November the 11th of 2012, which is a day before a really terrible day in my life, but we won't discuss that. It is directed by Greg Nicotero and written by Angela King. I think I said more King, but it's Angela King. But anyways, I'm Justin.
I'm Jessi.
And we are the Podcasting Dead. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing if you do like Walking Dead stuff, because that's pretty much all we talk about. And before we get into it, I have to mention our affiliate link in the description below. Go check it out, moviepalette.com. They make all kinds of really cool stuff. Click the website. I have one. I swear I'm going to make a video about it. I just have got to get some time. I barely have time to do these, so... With that said, Jessi, let's get into it. So you're reeling from episode 4, which saw some big players die, including Lori and T-Dog and maybe Carol. What are you thinking?
Okay, first of all, did Carol die?
I don't know.
Because Daryl put one of those, what are those Apache rose? What are they called?
Cherokee rose?
Yeah, those things that he showed her. He put one on one of the graves. So I'm like, okay, was that her grave or was that Lori's grave?
I don't know.
The heck, man. I don't know. I'm so confused. But this episode was like blowing my freaking mind.
We got to see Psycho Rick.
Yeah.
Like Psycho Rick.
Wow. Poor Glenn. It's like Shane's soul like took over Rick's body.
It's like poor Glenn's just trying to be a good friend and come in and be like, hey, man, I think, we need to get you out of here. And, and he just like puts him against the wall. Glenn's like, oh, snap. What did I do?
That's such, man, I really can't imagine everything. It's just like the series of events, like it could have been avoided. Like Glenn said, he was kind of thinking that they should have just killed all the prisoners on site.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely a bit bitter towards the remaining two, Axel and Oscar. But, they are helping them to dig the graves. It's, the only problem I really had with this episode, it's a really good episode, but the only problem I had with it is, am I to believe that one zombie ate all of Lori?
Yeah, I was wondering about that too, because first of all, where did he come from? I feel like he would have showed up before Lori died. Second of all, when they first showed the shot of the zombie, I thought it was Lori's. I thought Lori had turned into a zombie because I didn't think that Carl had shot her in the head. I thought that he just like shot the gun to make Maggie think that he did that, and that she like turned into a zombie and like walked away and did something, and that was her, because the belly was all big. Yeah. So I thought it was her. I was so confused. But I don't know.
And it's like, I'm guessing logically you could look at it, and maybe they have dispelled this. I don't know. But I guess logically you could say her body got drug off somewhere, and most of it got eaten. But like he even had like her hair coming out of his mouth, but like
I didn't notice that.
I always wonder, like, are we supposed to believe that this one zombie ate all of Lori? Because I think that's physically impossible.
That's what it is, a zombie apocalypse, Justin.
Right? That in itself is probably impossible. But still,
who are we to say what zombies are capable of?
That is true. That is true. But no, I don't know. Like that was my only beef with the episode. But poor Rick's just like losing his mind. He's just like the zombie slayer too. He's like the Terminator of zombie slayers.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I would be the same way. I wouldn't have went off on Glenn. I don't think like that was a little over the top. But I would have been on a mission to just chop, chop, chop all the zombies in my way.
I think he was just in rage mode. Like, he's seeing red. He's not seeing anything. So I think I don't think he even recognized Glenn at first when it was Glenn. He's just in that rage. Because like I said, you imagine, like we talked about last episode, you'd been fighting, like not getting along, and she's trying to make amends, and you're being the stubborn one, and then you never get a chance to, because that's one of the hardest parts about death in real life is all the unresolved things and things you didn't say and all of that. So it makes it, even harder in his situation. Now he's alone raising 2 kids.
Yeah. Well, also one of them, which is not his.
True. Raising his kid and some other man's kid.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing. It's like, how bitter do you think he is about the fact that Shane is probably the one that got her pregnant? And if it hadn't been for that, they would not be in this situation.
Oh, yeah, they wouldn't be in this situation. And then also, if Andrew, the great value version of Kevin Hart, would have just been killed along with the rest of the prisoners, this would have never happened. And and that's the thing, they kind of foreshadowed this because Carol had said she had to have a C-section with Carl. She was probably going to have a C-section with the new baby. And they were prepping for it, but they just didn't have time to do it. It just was like a real rushed thing. And so a lot of what ifs and, like you said, if Shane would have knocked her up, they probably would have never gotten this situation. If Shane did knock her up, we don't know. It could have been Rick's. I'm sure they made Humpty Dumpty. Oh, I think they did make Humpty Dumpty the night he got back to camp, laying in the tent.
Somebody in the comments on the last video kind of put it in the timeline. I can't remember exactly what they said, but it made sense. She wouldn't have known. Oh, it was because... Well,
her and Rick screwing was too soon for her to know she was pregnant.
Right. Not Rick. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's right.
Her and Rick had sex too close to when she discovered she was pregnant for it to have actually been.
Because they were saying it was an 8-day time frame, and there's no way, which they're right. There's no way you would know that. So, they're right. It had to have been Shane's.
Oh, I definitely think it's Shane's.
Yeah.
But so you got that. Like I said, just a lot of what ifs. What if they would have actually, because that's the thing though, he thought he killed Andrew. So he should have just, I guess, seen it through with his own eyes to make sure he was truly dead. Because of course he wasn't. And his vengeance is what ultimately killed Lori.
Yeah.
And then of course we've got the name for the baby.
Dude, I got teary-eyed at that scene.
Did you really?
I did. I don't know why. It was such a weird thing, but I don't know. It was just because they were going through all the people's names that had died in their group, and it was then you I didn't realize it had been that many people, and that was just the girls.
Yeah.
And it was just wow. How do you? Honestly, I would have named the baby Lori, but.
I would have named. I like the name Little Ass Kicker.
Yeah,
but
that would have been actually. Yeah, the zombie apocalypse baby should have badass names, not normal names.
Oh yeah. Then we flip over to Woodbury, and they've got that big celebration coming up, and of course Michonne's still real suspicious of the governor, and I like how she sneaks in to try to get her katana.
Yeah,
and then
she got it.
Yeah, she got it, and then yeah, and then what do you think about their little gladiator thing?
I hate it.
The sane part of me is I get what the governor's saying. You've got to give people entertainment, and you've got to, but I feel like zombies are a lot like guns because, this probably one of the only times in the show I agree with Andrea. The governor's we're teaching them to not be afraid. And it's just zombies are like guns. You should never you should never just treat them like they're harmless.
Right.
You have to, it's still a zombie. So, be brave and fight if you have to, but you should always have a level of fear of them and understand that they could kill you very quickly.
Yeah.
And if fear is not the right word, at least apprehension, but because I don't know if you necessarily should fear guns if you're used to guns, but I'm saying you should definitely not let your guard down and know that they are just like zombies, still always very dangerous and not something to just play around with.
Yep.
But yeah, so I a little bit more with Lori on this, but I get the governor's point of trying to provide entertainment, but it's couldn't you just do the arena brawls without the zombies?
You said Lori. Did you mean Andrea?
Andrea, sorry.
Are you with Lori on this? You dead.
I'm with Lori on this. I just would die rather than be around Andrea.
Dude, I've said something wrong on like every podcast, and I don't realize it.
Oh, I do too. I've called Herschel the wrong name. Like, oh yeah, it happens. There's so many characters on here.
But yeah, I do agree. I completely agree with Andrea on this because it's messed up. And I mean, not only is it messed up that all these people are just like about it, even the kids, like it's sick. But like, how do you know that they're not going to get bitten? It's insane. Also, is it really scripted? Because it doesn't look that way.
Well, no, it is scripted. Like it's predetermined. It's like wrestling, and then the zombies have their teeth pulled out, so they can't bite.
That's why they pulled the teeth out.
Mm-hmm.
I am so slow.
It's okay. We still love you.
Why am I so slow?
Because you have 2 kids.
That's true. That's why I got you. You got to explain this stuff to me. It's always something that doesn't click with each episode.
What do you think about Michonne leaving?
Dude, when she left, I thought the guy that was on guard was going to shoot her.
Do you think the governor's just going to let her waltz out?
No. No.
Because we know she's leaving.
Yeah.
And I still think it's crappy of Andrea to let her go on her own, man. Like, regardless of what, like, you wouldn't be here if it was not for her. So
that's a tough situation because
number one, I would trust Michonne's instincts. They've gotten them that far. And then 2, she's also the reason why you're alive multiple times.
Well, yeah.
And you're just going to let her go out there by herself.
I guess that's true. If Michonne can hold her own with a sick person and keep them both alive, I think I would probably go with Michonne.
I mean, I see the appeal, right? And it's hard for me to sit here in my comfortable basement and say that, I would hit the road again after you find a town with food and water and showers and
amazing entertainment.
Right. And like wrestling. But like, so it's easy for me to say that from this perspective, but at the same time, it's like, Andrea thinks of herself as some badass, and it's like you can't even see what's right in front of you. Like, Michonne picked up on that shit instantly and was like, these are not good people. This is not a good place. We should probably go ahead and leave now rather than just, wait. And I just think it was kind of crappy to let the person who's the reason why you're alive just go out on their own again.
That's true. I didn't really think about that.
Like I said, I see Andrea's side, but with that said, I still just think that's crappy.
It is. Now that you bring it up, it is. Because I really didn't think about it like that. I just thought about it like, I mean, I really don't. Andrea's a piece of work in the first place. And also, I can see why she would want to stay because, like everything you just said, they have all the amenities. They seem like they're protected and everybody's happy and it's somewhat normal. And why would you want to leave? But Andrea's kind of stupid. Like, she's not going to pick up on this stuff.
No, she's not. And it's like that is the ultimate goal in the zombie apocalypse, I think, is to get some sense of normalcy, which is what Rick and them want in the prison. Like, protection and being able to sleep at night and, not be on the road and, all of that. So I totally get the allure, but it's like Michonne is your girl and you don't let your girl go out there by herself. Even though she's got a way better chance probably of surviving on her own than she does lugging Andrea's ass around.
And she said that.
Yep, you just slow me down. Which is true. I mean, by God, the last time we saw him on the road, it was Michonne caring for Andrea like a sick child. Because, of course, Andrea has to be sick.
Of course.
Why couldn't she be able-bodied and pulling her own weight?
I'm surprised Michonne took her own anyway.
I want to do more than wash clothes. Is sick for 7 months. Which I don't know. She might not have been sick the whole time, but she certainly was sick when we caught back up with him.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we end the episode, of course, with the big brawl and everything. What do you think about the phone call at the end?
I just got chills because I cannot wait to know. As soon as we get done with this podcast, I'm gonna watch the next episode because I cannot wait to know what that is. And speaking of the kid thing that Maggie and they already left that. I was really waiting to see some kid zombies up in there.
What are you talking about?
When they went to get the formula and stuff, they went into like a I don't know what it was. Was it like a daycare, like orphanage or something?
Oh yeah, to try and get the formula for baby Judith.
I knew for sure that there was going to be some baby zombies.
You want to see some baby zombies.
I really do. I don't know. I have problems.
I don't know that I don't know why you're so obsessed with baby zombies. I mean, you got to see a kid. You got to see a kid zombie the very first episode.
And this episode.
Yeah.
The governor's, is that the governor's daughter, or is he? So who is Penny?
That's his daughter.
Okay, why was she at the bottom of a list of people?
What are you talking about?
Michonne found a list of people.
Oh, because he counts her as like a survivor. And then you see all the rest of the pages are like scribbled out.
Why were they scribbled out?
I don't know. Because the governor's crazy.
True. There's no rhyme or reason.
Anybody that keeps a bunch of zombie heads and tanks in a back room, and someone who, I can understand the daughter thing to an extent, and I kind of feel bad in that regard because, like, it's got to be tough to lose your kids. So, I mean, I can't imagine. So if he didn't have the zombie heads and just his daughter, I don't know that I would call him crazy so much as just, a grieving parent. And everybody copes in different ways, and sadly, this is his way. What's interesting is if you haven't already, you'll see a picture of like him and his wife and his daughter. And what's interesting is the wife in that picture is like one of the executive directors or something. What? Like, big wig behind, she's a big part of like behind the scenes. She's not actually like in the show, but she's, but I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah.
That is cool.
So where do you think we're going? I mean, like we got Rick going caveman back at the prison. WWF is making a comeback over at Woodbury.
I don't know. There's so many moving parts now. Michonne left, so where is she gonna go? What's gonna happen with Rick? What is Andrea gonna do? Where's the phone call coming from?
Yep.
The freaking baby, and now Daryl's taking over. He's like the new mom.
I will let you suck on my teat.
I'm loving it though.
Pocket milk.
Powdered pocket milk.
Pocket powdered milk. Man, that'd be great if he used that in a fight. Like reached into his pocket, was like pocket powder milk.
Gross.
This is nutritious, but yucky.
Yuck. It's a little chalky. I don't know. I think Andrea is going to end up realizing Michonne was right. I don't know if she's going to go out and try to find her. Probably not, because she's a little bitch. But I don't know. I think Andrea's going to end up dead.
You think so?
Yeah.
How do you think she's going to die?
The governor.
You think he'll just straight up kill her?
I don't know. Probably not, because he's so sadistic.
He'll kill her with charm, because he's such a charming MFer.
Come on. No, he isn't. Everybody else thinks he is, but I knew from day one he was a crazy psychopath, and I probably only knew because of life lessons.
Okay. So you've met some governor types in your day.
I mean, I don't know if they were that crazy, but I wouldn't put it past some of them.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, we got Crazy Rick. We got wrestling over at Woodbury, and you've already seen the scene, haven't you, where Michonne gets her sword and goes and lets those zombies loose.
Yeah.
And then kills them all. And I love that the guy is coming around the corner like with meat to feed them.
Like, why would you do that? Why are you feeding the zombies? They ain't gonna die of starvation.
No kidding. It's like Milton said, they are starving to death just much slower than we do. But I mean, like, they're already dead. So, like, are they starving? Because the whole concept that we're to believe is that it's a actual dead body that's been reanimated just by that one part of the brain stem, like, lighting up and just basic motor functions, and that's it. So it's like, no, that's supposed to be what the creepy part is like they're dead. That's a dead corpse walking around. So, like, can a dead corpse really starve to death? Like, no, I'm dying again.
I'm gonna bet on no. don't think so.
I like Michonne showed the governor she won't play in either when she was trying to get that katana back too.
Oh,
like
I loved that.
Let him know, like Michonne don't play. She's a beast, man. I'm telling you, Michonne is awesome. Like she's such a badass. Like,
I love it.
Badass. And I do like it'll be a little ways from that, but you will get to see a little bit of her past and kind of how she was before the apocalypse.
Ooh,
and it's really cool to see. Yeah, they don't really delve into it. So in the comic spoilers, but again, they've been out for like 100 years. You just earned the spoiler by not reading the comics before now. But, it's like in the comics, they had a little special where it's like she was a lawyer and she was very wealthy. Because, see, Andrea is like the civil rights attorney or whatever now. But like in the comic, Michonne was some kind of lawyer and she was rich, a lawyer rich, and she was into things like fencing, which is why she's so good with swords, because rich people like to fence. And it's like, she ended up getting her katana from she had this neighbor, like nerdy kid that like collected katanas and stuff, and when the apocalypse happened, she got the katana from his house. And so you got to see a little bit of her backstory, which they actually do. I should get you to play that on the channel. I've got it on my PlayStation. There is a Michonne game, but now it's based more on comic Michonne, but it's a Telltale Walking Dead game, which means it's not like a regular video game where you have to run around and fight. It's more like decisions. Like you play as her, but it's not so much that you have to fight as you'll have choices of how to respond to people, and you learn about like her backstory and all of that. It's really cool. So I might get you to play that for the channel.
That is really. We still need to get me to play the Walking Dead game on the Oculus.
Oh yeah, we do. That'd be hilarious. I had a friend.
We need to set up a day.
I had a friend over on Friday, and the friend. He's really tall. He's like 6'8", and he was playing the Oculus and went to throw a frisbee and busted out one of my lights.
Classic.
Yep. So hopefully, as long as you don't go busting out no lights, I'm cool with that.
I mean, I can't make any promises.
I don't know that you're tall enough.
I might when I'm trying to kill me some zombies, I might be able to I don't know.
This game gets it's awesome. But so let's rate the episode before we sign off. Let's bring it up from the bottom. Ready? That's a 4.5. You gave it a 5. Okay.
I'm giving it a whole 5.
A whole 5. Getting a whole fist.
5. Oh, you know what? Speaking of I totally forgot about this, but the phone call, I was thinking maybe, because you know how sometimes after people die, people will get phone calls, right, and it'll be the person that died. So I was thinking maybe it was Lori's spirit calling the phone, because how else is the phone gonna work?
I don't know.
That stuff don't work now.
Maybe they have backup generators.
I don't know. I'm excited. I'm about to go find out right now.
You are going to find out. Well, you go watch that. I'm going to wrap this up. But if you're new to the channel, subscribe. This is where we're going back through all of the old episodes. It's Jessi's first time watching. It's about my millionth time watching. So it's fun to get a fresh perspective. And it's also fun to hear her predictions and know when she's completely ass wrong. So
I'm always right. Come on.
It's a good time.
We're still going to see zombie babies. And Andrea is still going to die.
You know zombie babies. You want them so bad.
I do.
I want zombie babies.
I gotta be careful what I ask for.
Your next baby's gonna be a zombie. No.
I ain't having no more babies. You better stop.
Oh, well. Thank you so much for taking a listen to the podcast. We'll see you on Friday for episode 6. I'm Justin.
I'm Jessi.
And we're the Podcasting Dead. Peace out, y'all.